Hi, welcome back. In today's video, we're going to learn how to catch multiple exceptions at the same time in one except block. Here, I would like I'm having a number with decimal values, for example, 2.5, and I would like to convert it to an integer and then print its value. So first of all, 2.5 is converted to an integer and is then assigned to a variable called x. Then we are printing this variable x. So when I run this code, it says the output is 2 because we converted it to an integer. So now there is no problem because we are using the correct format, okay? However, because it is a bit risky, we are using the try and except block to perform this task in Python. However, if instead of having 2.5, what if I type down a string? It is going to have an error, and the error comes from the value error. So in the except part, if you see, we are having two errors being handled at the same time. So value error or type error, and then we are showing this message error occurred. Okay, so when I run this code, we are going to have value error. Okay. So it says error occurred, invalid literal for int, okay, with base 10. ABC is a string and it's not going to be converted to an integer. It's not possible. So it's a value error, and here the value should be something different. Okay, so this is how the value error works. When the compiler sees that we are having a problem here, it stops executing the program, and it is going to throw an exception. And this exception is caught by our except block. So this value error is taken and the message is shown in the output. But instead of this, for example, if I have, for example, a list or a dictionary or a tuple, we cannot convert a list to one integer. So when I have a list, for example, this will cause us the type error in this time, type error, because this type is not handled here. Okay, so when I run the code, we are again seeing error occurred, but this time it says argument must be a string, a bytes-like object, or a real number, and not a list. So this is the error that we are seeing in the output. But if we do it and we don't use try and except block, we are simply having the program being crashed, and we have no idea why the program is crashing, and we need to do a lot of debugging to understand why the program is crashing. However, when we put the risky parts of the code in the try except part, it will help us to catch these information in the output, and we see, okay, we made a mistake there because we are trying to convert a list to an integer and it's not possible. For example, I need to put a float number there in order to be converted to an integer. So I replaced that list with 5.5, and now we see that no errors is occurred, and here the output is 5 because it is converted to an integer. So it's very important to use exceptions in order to have a better code when we are having a problem, when we are having a crash. We will not have a crash. This is the first thing. And the second thing is when we are having a problem and an error message in the output, we can trace it very easily. And here we learned how to have multiple exceptions being handled at the same time. Thank you for watching.